people post to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you've committed to our charge. Amen. Honorable members, welcome to the sitting of today, Tuesday the 22nd day of April 2025 at 2:30 p.m. Our clerk confirmed that we have the requisite quorum to transact today's business.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the House is not quorate.
There being no quorum to commence the business of the day, I direct that pursuant to Standing Order 36, the quorum will be rung for an initial 10 minutes or until such a time that the quorum shall be achieved. Further, honorable members, pursuant to Standing Order 3731, I hereby direct the Sergeant at Arms to ensure that the door remains unlocked, but no member leaves the chambers except the whips until the House becomes quorate. quorum having been confirmed, we proceed with the business of the day. And honorable members, you recall that our morning sitting did not materialize due to quorum hits. I directed that a supplementary order paper be provided with the business of the morning sittings as approved by the House Business Committee. Honorable members, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 42.2, for the convenience of the House, I direct that we commence with the consideration of business in the supplementary order paper. First order.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
No communication at the moment. Yeah, however, the leader of the majority party can lay down the notice paper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, as you have communicated that we were supposed to table the notice paper during the morning sessions, but given that we never attained the quorum, Honorable Speaker, I now beg to table the notice paper as adopted by House Business Committee during this morning meeting. And Honorable Speaker, today being a Tuesday at 9:30 a.m., we were supposed to have the following businesses. I was supposed to table, as the leader of majority party, to table county government of Nyandarua, revenue quarterly report, county government of Nyandarua quarterly report on and financial statements for period ended 31st March. Was also to table Nyandarua County Executive, that is State and Public Officers, Karun and Mortgage Scheme, third quarterly report. Still to table Nyandarua County Emergency Fund quarterly report, Mr. Speaker. Still proceeding to table Nyandarua County Bursary Fund quarterly report, Nyandarua County Government of Nyandarua Receiver of Revenue quarterly report, Okara Municipality quarterly report and financial statements, Engineer County Level 4 Hospital quarterly report, JM Memorial County Revenue Referral Hospital quarterly report, Nyandarua County Lake Orborosat Sports and Tourism Conservation Hub Marathon Fund quarterly report. And Mr. Speaker, I'm also supposed to, as per the schedule, to table the request for approval of spending from the emergency fund in the first half of the financial year 2024 and 2025. We'll also be having another, intended also, Mr. Speaker, to have the report of the RADS, Physical Planning and Urban Development on the Department of Budget Implementation report for financial year 2023-2024, the sponsor being John Gashino, Chairperson, Committee on Arts, Physical Planning. On notices of motion, Mr. Speaker, we were supposed to have the notice of motion on the adoption of report of RADS and Physical Planning being sponsored by John Gashino, Chairperson, Committee of RADS and Physical Planning. On statements, Mr. Speaker, during this morning hours, we were supposed to have a statement on the status of employment and distribution of staffs across the county, and the person who sought the statement is Honorable Patrick Muende Karaoke, county member from Magumu Ward. We were also supposed to have the response to a statement sought by Honorable James K. Rugashomba on statement on the status of implementation on county KAIP, that is from Jabini, the respondent being Samuel Dimui Kayani, Chairperson, Committee on Tourism and Cooperative Development. Mr. Speaker, there was also an intended response to a statement sought by James K. Rugashomba on statement on the status of Nyandarua County Trade Development and Investment Authority being sought, and the respondent being Samuel Dimui Kayani, Chairperson, Committee on Tourism cooperative development and trade. On motions and bills, Honorable Speaker, we want to have a motion on the report of the Committee on Water and Environment, Climate Change, and Natural Resources on Nyandarua Climate Change Actions Report 2023-2024, and being sponsored by Honorable Isaac Kamaubaye, Chairperson, Committee on Water and Environment. And Honorable Speaker, today, at this moment, this is why the intended business that the Assembly ought to have to handle. Honorable Speaker, being a Tuesday at 2:30, we have the foreign businesses. That is the report of the LADS, physical planning, and urban development on response to statements sought by Honorable Isaac Baye on the status of titling of public land in the county and survey of public land meant for public amenities, which should include survey of roads and road reserves. We are expecting the report from the Honorable Chair, John Dugashino, Chairperson Committee on Lands, Physical Planning. We are also to get, Honorable Speaker, the notice of motion on the adoption of the report of RADS, Physical Planning and Urban Development, on the response to a statement sought by Honorable Isaac Kamaubaye on statement on the status of titling of public lands in the county, being sponsored by John Dugashino, Chairperson Committee of RADS. We'll also be getting a response to a statement sought by Honorable Stephen Moredi Matimo on the statement of status of operations of Engineer County Level 4 and its mortuary. Getting the response from Honorable Paul Geshe, by the Chairperson Health Services Committee. On motions and bills, Honorable Speaker, we are intending to have the foreign business, that is motion on report of the committee on the special funds accounts on the Nyandarua County Executive, that is state and public officers car loan and mortgage scheme fund annual report, and financial statements for the financial year, that is June 2024. We're getting the sponsor would be Honorable Peter Deji Keriga, Chairperson Committee on Special Funds and Accounts. Tomorrow, Honorable Speaker, we are supposed to have the foreign businesses. At morning hours, we'll be having a petition on the status of the allocation of RAD to IDP, that is internally displaced persons domiciled in the larger Nyandarua County. The sponsor being, it will be pushed through your position. Honorable Speaker, we'll also be getting another report of the Committee of Finance and Economic Planning and ICT on Nyandarua County Finance Bill, being sponsored by Zachary Jeru, Chairperson Committee of Finance and Economic Planning. We'll also be getting, Honorable Speaker, another report on the Committee on Youth Affairs, Sports and Arts on the department budget implementation, sponsor being the Chairperson on a Committee of Sports and Youth, Honorable Joseph Kuriadu. We'll also be getting, Honorable Speaker, that is tomorrow morning hours, we'll be getting a notice of motion on the adoption of the report of the Committee of Youth Affairs, Sports and Arts on the Department of Budget, sponsored by Honorable Joseph Kuria, Honorable Joseph Kuria, Chairperson Committee of Youth Empowerment and Arts. Mr. Speaker, we'll also be getting, on motions and bills, we'll be having a bill which will be having the second reading of the said bill, that is Nyandarua County Finance Bill 2024, being sponsored by Zachary Jeru, Chairperson Committee Finance and Economic Planning. That is tomorrow, Honorable Speaker, at 2:30, that is afternoon hours. Honorable Speaker, will also be having some other business to be handled by this Honorable House. Honorable Speaker, we'll be having a report of the Committee on Special Funds Accounts on the report of the annual financial statements of the County Emergency Fund for the year 2023-2024, sponsored by Honorable Peter Deji Keriga, Chairperson, Special Funds Accounts Committee. On notices of motion, Honorable Speaker, we'll be getting a notice of motion on the adoption of the report of the Committee on Special Funds Accounts and on the report of the annual financial statement of the county emergency sponsored by Peter Deji Kiriga, Chairperson, Special Funds Accounts. On statements, Honorable Speaker, we'll be getting a response to a statement sought by Honorable Stephen Murithi Matimu on the status of water tariffs charged by Oroasco, that is Orokarau Water and Sanitation Company, and the respondent will be Chairperson Committee of Water, that is Honorable Isaac Kamau Bai. Honorable Speaker, lastly, we will be having a very serious business. That is, we'll be having Nyandarua County Finance Bill 2024, which will be now be the Committee of War, which will be sponsored by Honorable Samuel Chegela Dirimo, Chairperson Committee of the Whole, and Zachary Jero Mwangi, Chairperson Committee on Finance, Economic Planning and ICT. Honorable Speaker, that is the intended notice paper for the week, and I hereby table the said notice paper. Thank you.
The same is duly tabled. Thank you, the Honorable Majority Leader. Clerk, next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Mr. Speaker, sir, under this order, there are several papers to be read in this House by the Honorable Elijah Mwangi Nyaga, the Leader of Majority Party.
Very well. The Honorable Elijah Mwangi Nyaga, Leader of the Majority Party.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to table the following financial statements, and I wish to table the 10 financial statement as one. Honorable Speaker, we have Nyandarua County, County Government of Nyandarua County Revenue Fund statements. We also have County Government of Nyandarua Executive Financial Statements, that is quarterly statements. We will also be having Nyandarua County Executive, that is State and Public Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund quarterly reports. We're also going to table Nyandarua County Government of Nyandarua Emergency Fund quarterly report, and County Government of Nyandarua Bursary Fund quarterly report and statements, County Government of Nyandarua Receiver of Revenue, Olkalau Municipality quarterly reports, County Government of Nyandarua JM Kaliuki Referral Hospital Level 4 quarterly reports, County Government of Nyandarua Engineer County Level 4 Hospital quarterly reports and statements. And I'm also going to table the Nyandarua County Lake Oroborosa Sports Tourism and Conservation Hub Marathon Fund quarterly report. And Mr. Speaker, I hereby table the said 10 quarterly report statements.
The reports are duly tabled. I'll give direction as per the report. Thank you. Anybody?
Yes. I also wish to table a report which is submission of emergency payment vouchers for the first half of the financial year 2024-2025 as submitted, and I hereby table the said report.
Thank you, the Honorable Majority Leader. I'll give directions as per report. In regard to, Honorable Members, in regard to County Government of Nyandarua County Revenue Fund quarterly report and financial statement for the period ended March 31st, 2025, The report having been duly tabled, I refer the same to the Committee on Finance, Economic Planning and ICT. So Chairperson or representative, you can inform us how many days you need to report back to the House. Yes, Honorable Muhindi?
60 days.
Thank you, Honorable Muhindi. Clerk ensure within 60 days, the same is on our business tracker. On B, the County Government of Nyandarua Quarterly Report and Financial Statement for the period ended March 31st, 2025. The report having been duly tabled, I refer the report to all sectoral committees for the committees to report on the budgetary implementation reports within 45 days. C, Nyandarua County Executive, that is State and Public Officers, Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme, Fund Quarterly Report and Financial Statements for the period ended March 31st, 2025. The report having been duly tabled, I refer the report to the Committee on Special Funds Committee. Chairperson, that is Honorable Thinji Kiriga. How many days do you need to report back to the House? Thank you, Honorable Thinji. Clerk ensure that within the same period it's on our business tracker. The next paper is Nyandarua County Emergency Fund Quarterly Report and Financial Statement for the period ended March 31st, 2025. The report having been duly tabled, I refer the report to the Committee on Special Funds Committee. And maybe Chair, you can also inform us, guide us, how many days? Thank you, Honorable Thinji Kiriga. Clerk, be it on record that within 60 days, we shall submit the report. And the next is Nyandarua County Bursary Fund Quarterly Report and Financial Statements for the period ended March 31st, 2025. The report having been duly tabled, I refer the report to the Committee on Education, Children, Gender Affairs, Culture and Social Services. That's Honorable Gadongo, who is the representative. Yes, Committee on Education, Children, Gender Affairs. Do you have anybody? Yes, Honorable Whip. A paper has been tabled on Nyandarua County Bursary Fund Quarterly Report and Financial Statements for period ended 31st March 2025. The same paper having been duly tabled, I directed the question to the Chair or the representative on how many days they will need to report back to the House.
50 days.
Thank you, Honorable Whip. Clerk, be it on record that within 50, you said 50 days. Okay, thank you. The other one is County Government of Nyandarua Receiver of Revenue Quarterly Report and Financial Statements for the period ended March 31st, 2025. The report having been duly tabled, I refer the report to the Committee on Finance, Economic Planning and ICT. Honorable Muhindi, how many time? 60 days, Clerk. So that within 60 days, the Chair will present the document. The next one is Olkarau Municipality Quarterly Report and Financial Statement for the period ended March 31st, 2025. The report having been duly tabled, I refer the report to the Committee on Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development. Chair, this is Honorable Ashino, Honorable Esther. How many days do you need?
60 days.
Thank you, Honorable Esther. Clerk ensure within 60 days. It's on our business tracker. We have Engineer County Level 4 Hospital Quarterly Report and Financial Statements for the period ended March 31st, 2025. The report having been duly tabled, I refer the report to the Committee on Health Services. Chairperson, how many, that is Honorable Ngeshe, how many days do you need to report back to the House?
120 days.
Thank you. That is 23 months. Clerk ensure the same is on our business tracker within the 120 days. We have JM Memorial County Referral Hospital Quarterly Report and Financial Statements for the period ended 31st March 2025. The same having been duly tabled, I refer the report to the Committee on Health Services. Honorable Ngeshe, how many days do you need?
127 days.
Clerk, be it on our business tracker that within 127 days, the said report, the Chair shall report back to the House. We have the next one, Nyandarua County Lake or Borosat, Sports, Tourism and Conservation, Half Marathon Fund Quarterly Report, and financial statements for the period ended March 31st, 2025. The report having been duly tabled, I further report to the Committee on Tourism, Cooperative Development, Trade and Industrialization. This is Honorable Kayeni, Chairperson. How many days do you need to report back to the House or the representative? Yes, Honorable Joyce.
90 days.
Thank you, Honorable Joyce. Fact be it on our business tracker that within 90 days, the same report will be brought back. Then we have a request for approval of spending from the emergency fund in the first half of the financial year 24-25. The report has been duly tabled. I refer the report to the Committee on Special Funds, that is Honorable Denji. How many days do you need?
45 days.
Thank you. Clerk, be it noted that within 45 days, the chair will refer the same back to the House. Then we have a report of the lands, physical planning, Thank you. Clerk, we proceed to the next order.
Still under the same order, Mr. Speaker, there is a paper to be laid by the Honorable John Bashino, Chairperson, Committee on Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development.
Very well. Honorable Esther.
Honorable Speaker, I wish to table the report of the Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development on the Departmental Budget Implementation Report of Financial Year 2023-2024. And I table.
Thank you, Honorable Esther. You just come and table it from the Thank you. You know, when you table it, it must be received by the clerk. So the report is duly tabled. The same shall be processed as directed by the House Business Committee, that is pursuant to Standing Order 157(5)D. Clerk, next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Under this order, Mr. Speaker, there is a notice of motion to be given by the Honorable John Bashino, the Chairperson, Committee on Lands, Physical Planning.
Very well. Honorable John Bashino, Chairperson, Committee on Lands, Physical Planning and Honorable Esther Wangari.
Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Chair, I beg to give the notice of the following motion that this House does adopt the report of the Lands, Physical Planning and Urban Development on the Departmental Budget Implementation Report of Financial Year 2023-2024 as a report of the House and recommendations therein as the resolution of the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Notice of motion is duly given, and the same shall be processed as directed by the House Business Committee, that is pursuant to Standing Order 157(5)D. Next order.
Order number 7, statements. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a statement to be sought by the Honorable Patrick Muhende Kariuki, the county member from Magum Ward.
Very well. The Honorable Patrick Muhende Kariuki, county member from Magum Ward. Yes, how was the Easter, Honorable Muhende?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Easter was excellent.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I hereby seek a statement from the Chairperson, Committee on Public Service Administration and Devolution addressing the following concerns. Aware that Article 232 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 applies the values and principles of public service, which inter alia include accountability for administrative acts and transparency, and provision to the public of timely and accurate information. Further aware that the primary function of the County Public Service Board is to recruit and appoint county government employees, promote and discipline them, and perform many other functions related to human resource management within the county government. Noting that the human resource sector in the county has been facing myriads of challenges, key amongst them the human resource gaps in some departments, and overemployment in other departments, which has allegedly created a crisis on both recruitment and rise in the county wage bill. Further noting that the county's Public Service Board has a duty and a responsibility under sections 59, 68A, 68B, 68C, 68D, and 68E to ensure the values and principles of public service are adhered with, and that the county has representation of the marginalized, persons living with disability, gender, and ethnicity, while ensuring equity and fair distribution. Concerned that the County Assembly has not been made aware of the analysis of the above, where the county government continues to experience unprecedented rise in wage bill with allegations of poor service delivery, despite the huge workforce. Arising for the foregoing, I seek that the chairperson of the Committee on Public Service, Administration and Devolution does 1. Expedite the consideration of the annual report of the County Public Service Board and report to the House its compliance with provisions of sections 59, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 68A, 68B, 68C, 68D, and 68E. 2. Provide a detailed report on the distribution of staff across the Nyandarua County Executive Public Service, including names, designations, and duty stations as follows: the number of employees in every department under all the chief officers and distribution in the 25 wards. 2. The number of employees in every board under the county government of Nyandarua and distribution in the 25 wards. And 3. The number of contract staff and long-serving cashier workers in each department or entity and distribution in the 25 wards. Mr. Speaker, I just limit myself to 4 points that necessitated this statement. Number 1 is the unfair distribution of staff across the county. You will find, like recently, we employed revenue officers on contract basis. And Mr. Speaker, they were about 30. But you will find a single ward had 4 people.
Yes, sir. Honorable Kumar.
As much as I appreciate this statement, it is very good and timely coming. The third day he goes to that trade now is preempting the report. He has already told what he is asking, he already knows. I tell you how many people have been employed each ward also. So maybe you guys remember to just restrain and we will discuss this when the report comes back.
Point of information to the Honorable Kumar.
Yes, Honorable Ngeshu.
At this point, I wanted to communicate to Honorable Kumar that the 4 MCAs from Kipikiri are around, and 1 specially nominated. So we are 5. We are a full house in this house, and this shows how we are active, especially the Kipikiri sub-county. Thank you.
Maybe to give directions, Honorable Muhindi, Honorable Kumar is on a point of order, and indeed, just restrain yourself to the question, because now if you give evidence, you'll be doing the work that the committee is supposed to do, and we will be requiring you file substantive documents to that effect. So just restrain yourself to the question, to the statement, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand guided. So the issues that are critical in this statement are 1, the unfair distribution of persons. Number 2, the ever-rising wage bill without ever having the IPPD data and the payroll system, the payroll data being provided to this house. The distribution of persons, Mr. Speaker, in terms of even tribe. We have marginalized people, we have other tribes that are minorities, and they have a place to be represented and recruited in this county. Number 4 is the issue of persons living with disability. That is also critical because it's a constitutional requirement. And finally, that this statement may help us in the rationalization of staff. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Muhindi. The statement is duly sought. Yes, Honorable Kumar.
Honorable Speaker, before you just subjected to the committee, I would like to request that even as the members bring the report, I want to back the member because the committee of budget will be interested and put weight on this even as the devolution committee take up on this matter. We will be interested on this statement. One, because it is affecting a wage bill, an issue that we have been raising in our reports. And number two, there have been changes in the way we'll be doing our budget going forward, whereby we are changing from a project-based budget or itemized budget to a program-based budget. And one of the requirements by June, coming June, or actually by the time they submit the itemized budget, which is at the end of this month, we need to have staff establishment for the county, which basically what Honorable Mohede is asking by number one. We need to see the staff establishment per department. So, Honorable Speaker, even as you committed to the committee, it is also very relevant and urgent, and we need it also as a committee budget, even as the Mohede get the information. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kumo. Any other information maybe in regard to that as we give directions? Thank you. The statement having been duly sought, I refer the statement to the Committee on Public Service, Administration and Devolution. Maybe a chairperson, that is Honorable Kimori. Honorable Washomba, how many days do you need to respond?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the chair, be able to come up with detailed reports on the same. Maybe within 45 days, be able to come up with a detailed report on the same.
Thank you. Clerk, be it on record that within 45 days, the said committee shall respond. Next order.
Point of clarification, Honorable.
Yes, Honorable Diaz.
Honorable Speaker, owing to the point that has been already raised by the chair budget, that there is some crucial information that may be needed before the uploading of the next budget. Is the time given by the committee sufficient? I mean, is that time bound? Otherwise, I kind of ask for clarification whether it is possible in their wisdom to review the time to fewer days to enable the information that we may need in making the budget, facilitating the budget for the 2025-2026 budget. I seek for the review of their time downward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Washomba, respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I should agree with the Deputy Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, you're aware that the report that we want to bring this on our house be a detailed report on how this exercise, Mr. Speaker, was done. Bearing in mind, it has highlighted some number of issues, the number of employees in the county, under the county government of Nyandarua, within the 25 wards, how it was distributed, Mr. Speaker. We need to be given some time because we need to consult the County Public Service Board as a committee. And also, I've heard they want to get report on the distribution across Nyandarua in terms of their names, designation, and the duty as follows, as listed by the Speaker of this statement. So, Mr. Speaker, I believe the chair of budget will agree with me. If we try our best, we are within the 45 days. Within that. Thank you.
Yes. Maybe before Honorable Kumo, Honorable Majority, what is it?
The statement as sought by Honorable Mohede doesn't have any ambiguity. It is very straight, very specific, and he has requested very specific response. And given that he is also a member, of the public service, that is the same said committee, which will also be getting a response from. I think he'll be able to guide, to give also some guidance as they look for the very specific answers that he is seeking as one of the member of the said committee. So I think someone has said that the information is quite important because as confirming from the Honorable Chair, Budget Committee, there is change of the modality of how we are preparing the budget. And to be very specific, as he has said, we know we must get the strength of every department on matters of human resource, because it is quite different coming to the next financial year. So I think they can just look for ways to minimize the days for response so that we work with the same data as we come up with a budget for the next financial year. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kumo, so that Honorable Gashomba, you can respond.
Honorable Speaker, now that Honorable Gashomba, my senior, has just indicated that I will agree. I disagree. Honorable Speaker, he is talking of 45 days. That means the earliest they are going to bring this report is on 15th, around 15th of June. And we are expected to have passed the budget before the 30th of June. Honorable Speaker, this is not information that we are going to look far away. They have been paying people every month. Where is that payment that they have been paying every? The end of this month they are expecting to pay. This is at the click of the button. The only disaggregation they need to do is employee per ward. Otherwise, everything else is in the system. And they should be able to produce within 2-3 days. This is the data that we have, the number of employees. I know gender is not an issue. Disability is not an issue. It is indicated. And Honorable Speaker, remember, at the second regime, when Honorable, the second governor of this county came in, they did a biometric sensor for the number of employees. And then when this third regime, when Honorable Dr. Moses Badija was coming in, there was a special committee that was done. It also did a biometric for the number of employees. So what is this 45 days? This is information that can be produced within 14 days. And we give the committee another 14 days to compare the report. And within 28 days, we have a report in this house. Actually, right now, as we are speaking, we are requesting an extra 70 million for the remuneration and compensation of employees. Money that we cannot be able to provide because we don't have data. Let's solve this issue once and for all. 28 days is okay and enough.
Yes, Honorable Mbai.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like also to agree with the Honorable Deputy Speaker that this is a matter that requires urgency. If you can see, Honorable Speaker, the information we are looking for, it is already the information that is already with the system because people have been paid. And you know, one of the delay tactics that has been used by many people, it is delay information or to manipulate the outcomes that we expect. Honorable Speaker, to avoid the manipulation of the outcome of the report that we are expecting, we must avoid that delay tactics. We need even lesser days, not even 28. If I am to be asked, I can predict that 21 days are enough so that we can discuss this matter and move forward. This is one of the very crucial information. And as we don't want to preempt what you have directed, I don't want to discuss it further. What we are looking is to get the information in good time so that we can discuss it, and that will help us know some of the challenges that we have been facing there on the grassroots, where people are asking who are employed in your ward. In fact, this is a matter of, even if we need this report can be given out even next week, because we have the system that are paying those people. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Gashomba, the MOB considering that the report has got bearing on the budget making, which has got some statutory timelines. Can you respond guided by that, maybe?
Honorable Speaker, I could understand the sentiments of our honorable members, but I believe they need to agree with me that the issue, any of the IPP data they are talking about, that has been a problem since we released this assembly. It's not the first time we've been requesting for this data, even when we are doing our budgets. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm requesting the members and the seeker of this statement that we don't have to rush because it has been alluded by neighbors. We are getting into the Public Service Board to get all this information. It's not a matter of just getting there and coming out. Mr. Speaker, we need to be given some time. Let us work within 45 days. Within that period of 45 days, Mr. Speaker, we shall be consulting with the Speaker of the motion as we move forward, Mr. Speaker. We don't have to rush. This house is a house of prosperity for the future and for the future. You don't have to rush up and come with a distorted information. Mr. Speaker, with due respect, I would urge you that let the committee work within the 45 days. As I said earlier, we still have supplementary budget. We can also search if there be any problem within the same report. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Maybe in regard to that, Honorable Gashomba, within 21 days, you can give a supplementary report, a preliminary report, so that we'll give direction.
Much obliged.
Thank you. Clerk, next order.
Mr. Speaker, still under the same order, there are two responses to be issued by the Honorable Samuel Mwikayani, the Chairperson, Committee on Tourism, Cooperative Development, Trade and Industrialization.
Very well, Honorable Mwikayani. Honorable Joyce Muno, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the Chair, I wish to give the report on the status of implementation of the Nyandarua County Aggregated Industry Park, KIPO. Mr. Speaker, I wish to recognize the immeasurable effort demonstrated by the honorable members of this committee during the committee sitting. I also wish to register its appreciation to the Secretariat for offering technical expertise during the compilation of this report. Most importantly, I extend our gratitude to office and that of the clerk for ensuring that the exercise was successful. The facilitation ensured the committee received optimal technical support necessary and it cannot go unnoticed. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, sir, it is my pleasure on behalf of the Committee on Tourism, Cooperative Development, Trade and Industrialization to present this report to the House for consideration and adoption. I not dwell on the committee composition, but I'll go to the committee observation and findings. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee held a series of meetings to deliberate on the matter in addition to considering information provided by the CCN during a consultative meeting. The committee made the following findings on: 1. The extent of implementation of the program on the County Aggregation Industrial Park, KIPE, containing information on the round on which is established and the approvals thereof. Whether the national government has honored its part on the project, the components of the industrial park, the expected date of completion, and the agreement with the national government. On the extent of implementation of the KIPE project, the department entered into a contract with the Universal Trust Limited for construction of the industrial park at Jabini ATC on 4th October 2023 at a contract sum of 464,360,410. The project was a presidential directive implementable in all counties at a cost of 500 million under a matching grant agreement where the county and national government will each contribute 250 million. The project's implementation level is at 15% and has two blocks measuring 80 meters by 50 each, one being reserved for value addition and the other block for aggregation. The project commenced on 12 January 2024 for an initial term of 28 weeks. However, owing to the prolonged adverse weather patterns, the project was extended by 16 weeks to end on that 1st December 2024. Additionally, cash flow challenges occasioned by late and piecemeal disbursement by the National Treasury rendered the works incomplete by December 2024, promoting a request for extension of the contract. The department also highlighted that deliberation on extension of the contract is ongoing considering the challenges occasioned by the funds delayed by the National Treasury. Consequently, the department intends to complete one of the two blocks using its own allocation, with the intention to complete the second block once the national government funds are received. Two, on the national government honoring its part on the project. To date, the national government has not issued any commitment with regard to disbursement of CAI funds to Nyandarua County. However, there were previous communication letters issued on 12 April 2024 by the Council of Governors expressing intent by the national government to factor funds in the financial year 2024-2025. We note the County Additional Allocation Act 2024 has not listed Nyandarua County as a beneficiary for the financial year 2024-2025. In the annex, there is a copy of the letter. 3, on the payments made to date. In the financial year 2023-2024, the County Assembly appropriated 100 million towards the project, but the department only managed to receive 50 million. The remaining 50 million, as budgeted for the financial year 2023-2024, has not been received in the current financial year 2024-25. In the current financial year of 2024-2025, the county budgeted for Kenya shillings 150 million, and the department has only managed to get one disbursement of 25 million. Cumulatively, the contractor has been paid 47,026,100. However, the committee noted the certificates raised by the contractor were in line with the project's bill of quantities, but inaccurate in comparison to the value of measured works on site. Consequently, upon a joint inspection by the county the contractor, an amount of 56,653,307 was agreed upon as due for payment for works done. Thus, the county owes the contractor approximately Kenya shillings 9.67 million in accordance with the revised amount. So there is a table there about the certificates which have so far been raised, which were worth 83,067,902, and compared to amount that has been paid of 47,026,100. Point 4, on status of CAI land ownership. The land parcel is fully owned by the county government of Nyandarua, and under the title number Nyandarua Jabini stroke 5851, having been registered on that January 2024 with approximate area of 20.38 hectares. A copy of the title deed has been annexed the response. Conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the committee appreciates that the project is a milestone project that may finally start value addition of agricultural produce within the county, create a source of employment, help farmers, processors, SMEs start getting value for their investment in agricultural and related value chains. However, it's regrettable that the department has not been able to complete the project in time, financial challenges being a major setback, despite the contractor raising certificates for work done at different stages. The county has shown efforts towards actualizing the project, whereas the national government, being the initiator, has shown no commitment in disbursing its share of the project funds. The committee does call upon the Department of His Excellency, the Governor, Dr. Kelly Badirisha, to aggressively approach the Council of Governors, being the bridge between the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry and the counties, to ensure the funds towards the project are appropriated in the budget for financial year 2025-2026 to enable completion of the phenomenal project for the benefit of the people. Finally, the committee does assure the House that going forward, the committee will diligently undertake its oversight mandate by closely monitoring implementation and progress of major projects, as well as conducting site visits of the industrial park, being a transformative initiative to Nyandarua County. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Joyce. The response is duly given. Maybe the seeker of the statement, that is Honorable James Kiro Gashomba, are you satisfied with the response?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First and foremost, I want to appreciate the half-baked report that has been brought forward by this Committee on Tourism, Cooperative Development and Trade and Industrialization on the CAIP. Speaker, yes, I agree that the land, the CAIP is within Nyandarua, and the title, it has been read by the Vice Chair, is Nyandarua Jabini 5851, which is approximately 20.38 hectares of land. This is about 50.36 acres of land. And on January, Mr. Speaker, 2024, Mr. Speaker, the title of that piece of land was issued to the county government. It was a RAD from the SFT. Mr. Speaker, on 4th December 2023, the contract was awarded to that company. And it was a matching grant. The county government was to provide 250 million, and the national government was to give the 250 million, so they can be able to have about 1 billion, half a billion, to make the progress of that CAIP that was initially started by the Kenya Kwanza government as their model of approach. What a change in job creation. And actually it has turned their pipe dream for the people of Nyandarua and the people who surround that area. So Speaker, it has been appropriated. The Vice Chair has said 2023 to 2024, we had appropriated 100 million from the budget committee. In the year 2024-2025, Mr. Speaker, the county assembly was appropriated 150 million to make it about the 250, so they can be able to match with the national government funding. Mr. Speaker, the money that has been paid, with 7 million, has already been paid to the contractor, of which the contract that has been done, the contractor has only done about 15% of the total contract. So it is just a small work that has been done. It's about one block or so, just laying the foundation. Mr. Speaker, I agree that we have a problem with that kind, because the riots that have been distributed all over by the Kenya Kwanza government is not coming in handy to help our people. So, Mr. Speaker, I agree that the county government, together with the Council of Governors, they should approach this matter and make sure, if they are willing, if the Kenya Kwanza government is willing to come up with that kind and benefit the residents of Nyandarua because of the investments and job creation and value chain, as they had promised when they were doing campaign. Let them, Speaker, put us those funds in their budget, 2025, 2026, so that we can be able to complete that kind. But Mr. Speaker, right now, how many years are those? Even the contract was to end on that 1st December 2024. So, Mr. Speaker, you see we have a lot of problems. That's why I'm appealing to the governors and the Council of Governors to approach this matter with a lot of sobriety, so that we can give Mr. Speaker to see whether we'll be able to uplift the standard of our people and create job creation for our people and our future generation. This is a model that has been started all over by this government, and I'm appealing to this government. Sometimes they should not lie, because those lies will come to an end one at a time. And they are coming. They have only 2.5 years remaining to get out of that office. And they promise heaven, they promise our people to be able to bring development, to be able to uplift the standard of our people. Mama Mboga down there, where the border riders are crying all over. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm appealing to the county government and the national government to make up their promises and bring those funds within the next financial year that we can be able to complete that project. Those will remind the Speaker. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Joyce Munywa and the committee. Clerk, next order. Any other member? Yes, Honorable Diaz.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To add on what Honorable Gashomba has said, which is very important, that the government should keep the promises. My concern is the contribution by the county government has been made. Definitely, at the inception of this program, it was perceived that this money will not be enough. What necessitated the chipping in of the national government. Now that the county is giving the contribution and the national government is not reciprocating by fulfilling their promise, what happens? Will it add as a good project, unfinished, unusable, and therefore wastage of public finance? I would suggest that this matter be escalated to the Committee on Legal Affairs and Intergovernmental Relations to find out, maybe through that committee, when this money will be available. Otherwise, then the contribution by the county should stop until we get the other portion from the national government. Because, Mr. Speaker, this money is going to waste. If the contractor does the work of the 50 million or 100 million provided by the county government, then what happens when there is no money, more money coming from the national government? I think that is how serious this is. And I believe maybe through the Committee on Legal Affairs, then we can find out when this money is coming. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Muhindi. Honorable Gashomba, before Honorable Muhindi proceed, you see something like endless lies, and DS is talking. What did you refer to? That will come to an end.
I was referring to the Kenya Kwanza government that had promised to give us 250 plus 250. It was a matching, the county government to bring 250, the national bring 250. And now the national government has not even provided, even in the budget that is coming. So we are appealing the Council of Governors. When we get there, can they persuade the government? And most of the president, because he is the one who said it is a presidential directive that Anglo-Asian centers within our country, for the 11 countries, for the 7 counties, should come up with those aggregation centers to create job creation for our youth. So, like I was saying, rice, and we have in 2 minutes. Now he has read over 1,000 times.
Yes,
promising all the time.
Honorable Gashomba, you responded, you clarified what I was asking.
Thank you.
We can proceed to Honorable Muhindi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. One, it is good, and I appreciate that this project is supposed to be implemented in Honorable Gashomba's ward. And maybe before even going to the national government, and I agree totally with him that the national government has failed us in sending the monies that were supposed to come from their end of the deal. But when you come to the report and look at our side, and that is why I was rushing so that he wouldn't give the chair budget before me, so that when he stands, he can also tell us. In the first year, we appropriated 100 million, but only 50 million went to the special fund. I don't recall any moment here when we had a motion for reallocation or anything like that that was brought to this house. Then, the next time there was given 100 million, only 20 million was given to the implementation fund or to the project directly. So even the county government itself, on paper, it shows it has given out 250 million. But in reality, they have only given 70 million. And if you look at that 70 million, then you look at what has been paid. Because these other monies that we are being told we owe the contractor 9 million, this is a forethought. It was not something that was originally measured. So the 47 million, if 47 million was supposed, is able to implement 15%. Now, Chair Budget, you are the mathematician here. You will see, if let's say 50 million is able to implement 15%. So you see, we don't need 470 million. So even the project was overpriced because it wouldn't go to, it would be around 400 million. So if we gave our 250 million, it shows the project would be at least 70% complete. So, but because I don't know exactly what happened with those monies, Mr. Speaker, I just hope that the budget chair can clarify to us. And finally, another issue with this project, they have a project management committee. Mr. Speaker, when we were doing vetting for the recent nominees by the government, we realized that the committees meet. The committee has been meeting, monies have been paid for the project management committee, but the people who are supposed to be in those committees are not the ones meeting. For example, the county treasury of Nyandarua, which is supposed to be represented by the chief officer or an appointee of the chief officer, is not represented in the project management committee. So all these figures have been manufactured from somewhere else without the input of the county treasury, and we had to be paid 47 million. Thank you.
Yes, Chair Budget.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I don't want to start here on behalf of the executive and try to exonerate the executive, but I want to give information to this House. I know that Honorable Muhedi cunningly tried to blame the county government of Nyandarua on this matter. But first of all, we want to indicate that this was not a county project. This was at a better, what they call a bottom approach by the Kenya Kwanza government, which sat down and indicated that they are going to do the aggregation centers in 47, the KIPES in 47 counties. This was not within the manifesto of His Excellency Moses Kiarie Patricia. But when we are doing the CIDP, we try to match with the existence of what is happening within the national government. And then there was an agreement that this would be a shilling for a shilling grant, where the county government provides a shilling and then the national government provides a shilling. And that is how we ended up having that we are going to provide 250 million and the national government is going to provide 450 million. And in our good attempt and good faith as County of Nyandarua, despite the mega resources and the kind of misconvenience they cost us in Nyandarua, in the planning and economic department, because this was not initially our project. In the first year, we provided 100 million to kickstart, because we knew as budget team that you cannot absorb over 200 million within our financial year. Because we required to do procurement, there was issues of title. In the first year, we provided 100 million. The national government provided zero. An indicator that there is zero goodwill on this project, despite the fact that it is initially their own project. That money could not be absorbed. Then we came to the next year, out of goodwill again. Try to be patient and try to understand, because they told us when they came in there was no money. They were working on the economy of this country. We provided another 100 million. I also want to see again, this money we tried to, actually, the designs, the issue of procurement were done by the national government. It is not the county of Nyandarua who designed those issues, those kites. They were done by the ministry. We remember the former minister on investment, trade and investment, Honorable Moses, my friend, Kuria, was all over the skies, doing these kites all over this country. A hype tried to show us that something was happening. Again, come additional conditional grants act. Nyandarua was not there. We were provided zero. And we provided 100. The reason why we could be able to absorb 50 million, number one, how we open up the budget by the control of budget, you open up half of the budget. You are not allowed to open the whole of the budget. So at that half, they were able to absorb 50 million. Within the second half, that money was requested to come into the special purpose account, and it could not be allowed by the COP. Because first of all, they wanted to do an evaluation on how much has been done. The reason why you are saying that 15% with 47 million, 15% have done, it is not because everything has not been paid. The contractor has done beyond what they have been paid. That is why we are talking of 15%. And then again, there is some money already right now, around 18 million in a special purpose account. Because there is a pool. When the contractor realized that the national government is not bringing their share, they disappeared. Honorable Speaker, this is very unfair, and I want to sit down by 2 points. Number one, the other day there was a report by the Controller of Budget as Nyandarua as one of the county having the largest number of projects that are stalling. This is one of them. Because if you look at the time of implementation, it is almost done. That is very unfair. Because who was supposed to provide the money? Second question, when a project stalls, there is an increase in cost. I want to bring members of this assembly to the attention of our headquarters here. By the time this headquarters was done in 2014, around 2014, it was supposed to cost 600 million. Today, after evaluation, it is over a billion. Who is supposed to bear the rest of the cost? So we have a government that is not ready to support devolution, because if you sit there and say that you are going to do KIPE and it is within your manifesto, can you give that money to the counties to implement? You provide the technical expertise that is needed for those projects to be done. Otherwise, we blame 100% the Kenya Kwanza government for their rise. Up to this extent, we can prove they have lied to the Nyandarua County. They have caused a problem in planning, and we are just about to witness another huge cost project. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Ngeshe. Yes, then I come to Honorable Kayini.
Honorable Kayini, switch off your mic. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise first to thank that committee for telling us the truth as it is, without sugarcoating much. Mr. Speaker, you see, I'm happy when I see the Kenya Kwanza guys actually telling Kenyans now our government cannot deliver. Mr. Speaker, you see, the past cabinet secretary,
Honorable Kashomba, why do you appear happy when the member is presenting? You should wait to proceed. Proceed, Honorable Ngeshe.
The past, actually, I don't recall even the current cabinet secretary for this kind, because the first cabinet secretary was Moses Kuria, who also at that time doubled up as a party leader for the CCK, and he had a vision only that he was never given time now to materialize the vision, and he nowadays serves as one of the mates in the I don't know the White House, not White House really, but the newly done state-of-art state. So, Mr. Speaker, we can only sympathize with our county and our country at this time, but it is a serious. It is bringing out a very bad picture, Mr. Speaker. When you realize every regime coming up with a project that it cannot help the people. Mr. Speaker, there is poultry house, or rather poultry store, that was done by even the other government, where the president now was then the deputy president. And they were saying, and they were telling, in the campaign trail, they were telling Nyandaruans, you see, this is a rod of potatoes. We are going to add value to your product, the potatoes. I can tell you, even read it after they have done the cold store, it is not in use. It tells us that is a white elephant. Now, a 250 million project now also will materialize to a white elephant project. I don't know who will help the Nyandaruans, but I'm happy the deputy women rep is with us. And they are in the forefront, championing for these governments. And when we talk of serious projects, and he buries his head here on his hand. So, Mr. Speaker, what we can only do now is we do the paper clip. Let it be recorded even in the Hansard. Let it go to the social media. That from the report you've heard, it was a presidential directive. And presidential directive means those who can even push there are those who oversight to the president. You have the member of parliament, because this is even the orders. And you see the other time we saw them impeaching Gachagua because he was talking of shareholding. So we need now to see them in action, being read by our, in quote, start of quote, Mami Mwega, head of quote. She should read the fellow member of parliament who were in the forefront impeaching His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua. Now, because they did the work given, they should now ask, where is our Nyandarua industry? And this one now will reflect to the people that they need a care for the people. But as it stands now, from this Skype report that we are struggling to deal with, it is reflecting the member of parliament from Nyandarua as if they were doing everything for their stomach's sake, when we cannot now trace even a single shilling. They sit where the budget is being done, and sometimes they get some beating from His Excellency the President, who will, when he comes on campaign rallies, will whip them because he asks them, you sit in that budget committee, you sit in that bunge, where these monies are, the budget is passed. Why are you not ensuring that Nyandarua Industrial Park is on course? So today is a reflection to Nyandaruans that the county assembly is not only trying, but it is helpless on implementation of this project or program, because unless now we sacrifice other projects, other programs, and His Excellency the Dr. Keria Badilisha maybe now clothes the naked government by doing this industrial park single-handedly, which will now translate to affecting other programs that are beneficial to Nyandarua. But it should remain to be known to the people of Nyandarua that the government that you put in place is not only for the seat, but is full of conmanship. And this should stop. And even if it doesn't stop today, when I become the president, it should stop. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Kayeni.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I take this opportunity to the strides to commend my very own committee and the report that was provided to the floor of the House by none other than my very able Vice Chair. Now, and I see, members of the cabinet making the contribution. It means that work had been put to make that report, however shallow it was, but more importantly, truthful, as Honorable Geshe alludes. I do not wish, Honorable Speaker, if we may start on that point, to pontificate that, that we are not in this government. I want to admit that when we went to the ballot, we were all pulled to one end and we're put in a bad wagon of a mongrel of a system called Kenya Kwanza. I am even shocked that even today, them that were on the streets fighting this government have been, swallowed by the mongrel of the same system. And those who really were the leading in the system have now been thrown outside of the bus. I would say this, just like the chair budget did say, that the agenda, the change manifesto of Honorable Governor, type was not part of it. I want to admit that we were all part and parcel of the Kenya Kwanza. My tongue is being tempted to slip to the Kenya K, the other thing, because it's more of it. So I want to say that exonerate the government that these projects that they agreed to do together with the government they belong to, that they are not part of it. And that's why it appears in all the documents of this particular government that we are in. You go to the CIDP, you'll find them there. You go to the CFSP, you find them. In the budget, they are there. So we just have to own them up and get the best out of it. And we cannot sit back and assume that we are not providing resources to it. If it was entirely a national government project, then there wouldn't be any coin from the county government going there. But since some money that were given to this county have been put to that project, we become part and parcel of that particular project, and we cannot disown it whatever. There is a popular saying that goes that we have swallowed a hook and a sinker. Where are we supposed to be found? At the bottom of the sea. Call it a seabed. Lying there, unable to swim out. That's where we are, unfortunately. When I check my calendar, Honorable Speaker, I noticed that we are in our third year. And the better part of our time is already spent, is behind us. The year after this year, we will be everywhere, doing campaigns seeking another mandate from the people that elected us last time. I am extremely disturbed that we will have nothing to take to our people, except a bunch, or a bag, or a sack if you like, or a tank, better even, a reservoir of lies. Telling people that we told them, now we are telling them that we will tell them what we told them. And what we did tell them, that we hope to tell them, that we will be telling them, is another bunch of lies. I'm ashamed, being a truthful man as I am, a God-fearing person, a leader sent from heaven to just do nothing else but demonstrate truthfulness. I am now associated with a bunch of leaders who have nothing else but to tell lies. I am surprised that the chairman, who was Honorable Geshe's chair, was the brain behind the kite. I am told when I was sitting here, Honorable Geshe, who is a member of that party that his chair has been catapulted elsewhere. I want to remind Honorable Geshe that his chair holds a bigger position, better position, where he is now supposed to advise on everything, not just Skype, but everything,
Information
including political.
Yes, yes, Honorable Commissioner.
Engineer Remy Kayani, and you know the climate changes, and nowadays I am reliably told he is receiving advisory. He's being advised by the person employed to be advised. So the advisor became the advisor to the advisee.
Yes, Honorable Kayani.
Thank you, Honorable
clarification.
Thank you, Honorable Geshe, for admitting that your chair is earning a salary he doesn't deserve for doing a lot of nothing. But that be as it is, it's the order of the day. If he's not giving the boss the advice, then he's earning an illegal salary. And being a truthful person, as he said, he should return that money. Because the Bible says that you don't earn where you don't invest. And Honorable Speaker, I want to end this.
Honorable Speaker, point of clarification.
Yes, from Honorable Kayani or from?
Yes.
Yes.
Honorable Speaker, I heard Honorable Kayani saying that he was sent from heaven. I would like to get clarification whether he is the Messiah.
Honorable Kayani, I bet he's being metaphorical. But proceed, Honorable Kayani.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You know, we are not classmates with the Honorable Bai. So some of these things may slip between his fingers. But I want to remind him to read the scriptures very well. Leaders are sent from heaven. And I'm one of them. The good leaders, for that matter. The others know where they come from. The good book also tells me that the devil is the father of lies. So some of the leaders may be borrowing the lies from where their father is. So that be as it is, and I'm just, Honorable Bai is being funny because he's one of our best preachers in this assembly. So he should have read the Bible very well and advise us that leaders are actually, good leaders are sent from heaven. Honorable Speaker, I want to say this, as I take my seat, that being a project that we have funded using the county resources, we cannot run away from it. I would call upon the honorable members of this House to do the only honorable thing, to do justice, to live true to the calling as to why they are seated in this honorable House today and being called honorable members. And we are all honorable members. To rise out of our seats and go and check out what is happening in that project. Being the chair committee of trade that does oversight that particular department, I beseech all of us to, for heaven's sake, go and establish facts as they are firsthand. Rather than, the figures which are being floated here. And Honorable Mohede did say that figures are fished from other sources. Let us go and find out whether it is true that 47 million or thereabout has actually been spent. And if it has been spent, for what purpose? As what was given was information for the sake of the statement. But there's so much that we can allude and confirm to this House that we need to wake up and go and find out. Skype might end up being what it is, a white elephant. And when I was listening people talk about white elephant, I was wondering, white is associated with good things. Why is it not called a black elephant? Because even normally the devil is painted black, because black is associated with bad things. Why calling it white elephant? For whatever reason it is, it cannot not be white because white is supposed to be good. But better is black. But I do know that, just like Honorable Speaker, you say, this is metaphorically said, but it's a sad story. It's mad that we'll go to home with as members of this county assembly, that we did start a project that we could not oversight, and therefore we have no information to tell our people. We will not sit back and heaped with glory. And Honorable Speaker, as Honorable Geshe was saying, although he was metaphorically referring to Honorable Muhendi, when referring to him as Deputy WR, I want to say that indeed we seek support from the leaders from the national government to tell the national government, they are closer to them, that we need these things to be cleared. unless, as we seated here at the county level, may not be able to speak to the national leadership. But we have leaders who are elected to go to Nairobi. Let them tell the president that this thing is a shame, and we want that shame cleared. Rather than come and promise us other things before delivering what they already promised. That's taking us a fool. There's a saying that goes like this, Honorable Speaker, that promising and not giving is a comfort to a fool. If you promise and you don't give, you're taking the person you're promising for a fool. It's a saying that is said, and that's what applies to us. And with that, I rest my case. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes. What is it, Honorable Chair? Budget.
He has mentioned about white elephant. The one who had talked about the white elephant. I wanted to inform the House that this is a metaphorical phrase, and it originated from Thailand. Thailand, they used to keep elephants to do the domestic work. They used to domesticate elephants. And there is some existence of some elephants that are sick. They are albino in nature. They are somehow like white. It's like they are albino. So what used to happen is that when you wanted to, they are very expensive to maintain those elephants. So when you wanted to punish somebody, they used to give them the albino. So for him, for why we talk about white elephant, it is because when you are given that elephant, you cannot maintain it. It was so expensive, so it could die. That is why we use a white elephant rather than a black one.
Thank you. Doyen, you should now recognize Honorable Kumar as a Doyen.
Thank you.
Are you aware of that?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I saw him Googling, so thank you for being a student, a good student. And as you informed me, the other members, including Honorable Muhede, are duly informed. Thank you for being a researcher. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable Kayen. Yeah, thank you, Clerk. I think we can now move to the next order.
Mr. Speaker, sir, under the same order, there is also a response to a statement to be issued by the Honorable Samuel Kayani, Chairperson Committee on Tourism, Cooperative Development, Trade and Industrialization.
Very well. Honorable Samuel Kayani, Chairperson Committee on Trade, Tourism, Cooperative Development, Trade and Industrialization. Yes, Honorable Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Chair, I'll give a response on the status of implementation of the Trade Development and Investment Authority and funds appropriated. Mr. Speaker, during the afternoon plenary sitting held on 26 November 2024, Honorable James Kirugashomba, the County Assembly member representing Jabini Ward, sought a statement from the Chairperson Committee on Tourism, Cooperative Development, Trade and Industrialization on the status of implementation of the Nyandarua County Investment Authority Act funds appropriated to the authority. Consequently, the statement was referred to the aforementioned committee and further directed to report back to the House within 30 days. Accordingly, therefore, the CCM for Tourism, Cooperative Development, Trade and Industrialization responded by a letter dated Nyandarua TCDI Development dated 15th January 2025 and received by the Office of the Clerk on 16th January 2025. Allow me to go directly to the committee observations and findings. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee held a series of meetings to deliberate on the matter. In addition to considering information forwarded by the CCM, the committee made the following findings. 1. Reasons for non-implementation or disbursement of the allocation to the trade fund. The committee appreciated that the trade fund was allocated 15 million for disbursement to qualified groups and individuals, but sadly the funds were not disbursed as expected. Upon inquiry, the department responded that there were several foundational and administrative challenges contributing to the delay in the disbursement and implementation of the Nyandarua County Trade Fund and the operations of the Trade Development and Investment Authority, including 1, delayed operationalization of the Secretariat. That the authority board was constituted and sworn in July during the month of May 2024. As such, the Secretariat was not fully operational during the 2023-2024 financial year. This hindered core operational functions, including fund disbursement. 2, delays in disbursement or availability of funds. That a bank account was opened towards the end of May, end of the 2023-2024 financial year, and a requisition was made. However, delays in fund disbursement by the National Treasury resulted in the funds not being received. The requisition for funds in the current budget has been submitted and is currently awaiting approval by the Controller of Budget. 3, pending disbursement framework. Guidelines and procedures for disbursing the trade fund had to be developed and reviewed to align with the Public Finance Management Act, ensuring accountability and equity. Notably, the county lacks the structures and capacity to appraise, disburse, collect, and monitor loans, hence the need to partner with a financial institution for administration purposes. 4, lack of implementing financial partners. Initially, the absence of a financial institution partner delayed disbursement of logistics. However, this has since been addressed and is expected to be implemented in the current financial year, 2024-2025. Number 2, the second concern, annual report on the performance and operations of the Nyandarua County Trade Development. The Nyandarua County Trade Development Authority had an appropriated budgetary allocation of 10 million as recurrent expenditure. In accordance with the reports by the Controller of Budget for the year ended 30th June 2024, the committee noted that the authority had utilized 6,017,039, being 60% of the recurrent budget. Number 3, the extent of implementation of the Trade Development and Investment Authority. The department reported that the authority is fully operational and functioning effectively due to the board members were recruited. The board members were recruited through a public process and vetted by the County Assembly in November of 2023. Swearing in and induction process was conducted. The official swearing in of the board took place on 6 May 2024, followed by 1-week structured induction program. 3, a secretariat is now in place, having been seconded from other departments. Number 4, fund authorization. A bank account has been opened, a fund manager appointed, and operational procedures finalized. The third issue, measures being taken to ensure the Trade Development and Investment Authority Fund benefits people of Nyandarua. On this matter, the Department of Trade reported that it is committed to ensuring the trade fund is accessible, impactful, and aligned with county development goals. The following measures are underway: Secretariat established, operational framework finalized, that's disbursement of guidelines, application forms, and eligibility criteria has been developed. Number 3, bank vetting completed. A multi-agency vetting committee held its initial discussion on 27 February 2025. Proposals have been received from multiple banks, some of which have pledged to match the county seed capital up to 10 times. Number 4, capacity building plans. The training for potential beneficiaries on fund application, business planning, and financial literacy is scheduled before disbursement. Number 5, public sensitization. A public outreach campaign will be launched to inform the public on how to access the fund equitably across all wards. The measures are designed to ensure inclusivity, accountability, meaningful impact at the grassroots level. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the committee deeply regrets that the department has not been able to implement the disbursement of the trade fund to the citizenry of Nyandarua County over over the last 7 years, despite continuous budgetary allocations appropriated towards it. Considering that these monies would highly empower the people, it is in their best interest that the monies be rolled out in the current financial year 2024-2025. Additionally, it's unfortunate that the authority was unable to discharge its mandate, having utilized over 60% of its current budget in the financial year 2023-2024, implying poor financial prudence on the department in general. Mr. Speaker, sir, appreciating the constitution of the board of the, as per the Nyandarua County Trade Development and Investment Authority Act, the committee prays that going forward, the authority board shall deliver on its mandate as prescribed in the Act, vis-a-vis growing the county's revenue and other economic opportunities available to the citizenry. As part of its oversight mandate, the committee intends to have a consultative meeting with the Nyandarua County Trade Development and Investment Authority Board to deliberate its function as well as its operation in view of its first mandate and the impact of the authority has in boosting economic empowerment of both the people and the county at large. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Joyce. The response has been duly read. The Speaker, Honorable James Kiru Gashomba. Yes, Honorable Geshe, the Speaker is not around.
It is an observation that he is out without apology, and he was here. So, Mr. Speaker, from where we are taking it is that after 7 years, no budget implementation. And you see, when you inherit governments, you inherit both good and what is bad. I think this idea was for the governor, Francis Doita Kimemia, the second governor of Nyandarua. And how I pray that Honorable Kiari Badilisha, the governor of Nyandarua, should have implemented this. Because this is a clear indication that maybe he is fighting it, because it was started by his predecessor. If that is not the case, then he ought to have started the common denominator here. Who is suffering? It is the Nyandaruans. And you see, sometimes, even the chair budget, I wonder why you keep that money here when we are doing our supplementary budgets. You have heard from the report that 7 consecutive years, you see when it is interpreted, it means the years, year in, year out, 15 million, 10 million. An allocation is there. How I wish the chair budget could tell us it was not real money, it was hot air then. And if it is the real money then, it should have now the impact. And I think I will be very cautious with the upcoming budget for the year 2025-2026. That line, we will strike it out for the trade fund, because it has proven 2.5 years in Governor Badilisha, the change manifesto, and of course, it has changed manifesto. He has changed that trade fund now, and it should not be there. And we are going to strike that vote, such that it can go to other projects that the governor resonates with. Whether it is Super Napier, it's okay. Whether it's Apple, it's okay. And of course, I don't know this year what it could be the fraction of the governor. Better it goes to what he believes in than to have that money in that particular vote. And I'm happy that the hazard is there. The chair budget is in here. He will be able to tell us why that money has been there, lying there idle, where we are experiencing some difficulties. So I once again appreciate the committee. You keep doing good. Give us this information. Don't worry. Paper trail, it is there. And it will help even the other governors who will occupy that particular position to know how to lead. Because I know when you inherit what is good, you inherit what is bad. And for me, this is a big shame for this government now, that they cannot be able to materialize. Do you know Trade Act? It used the funds for the Nyandarua's funds, and some of these things, it is that is why okay, we will take longer to be termed as a developed country if this is the challenge with the policy and the implementation. That is where we are, and it is not that we will take longer. New leaders are being bad. That is the lesson you can take from whatever is happening today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Geshe. Honorable Muhindi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to just speak from where Honorable Geshe has left. One is the continuous budgetary allocation to the trade fund. And Mr. Speaker, I am having a problem with the report itself. One, I am wondering, what has the Committee on Trade been doing with this report? The response from the executive was on 16th of January. Mr. Speaker, that's approximately the 127 days that Mr. Bongese is asking for other reports. From 16th of January, then when they come to, that is when the response was given to the clerk. Then they are telling us that the multi-agency vetting board had its first meeting on the 27th of February. Now I'm wondering, unless the committee members were also in the vetting agency, how would they have known? Yet the letter came to this house in January, and the meeting was done in February, Mr. Speaker. There is some discrepancies there, something that we have.
Point of order.
Yes, Honorable Kanyani, what is the point of order?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Mulhedi should know that the Committee of Trade, just like any other committee, does not allocate business in this Honorable House. So the matter has been here for 3 months. The committee has been waiting for House business to allocate time. And they actually did, and that's why the report came into the House today. So it's out of order to allude the committee has been sleeping on the order. Thank you.
So, Honorable Muhindi, proceed. I hope you brought that.
Honorable Speaker,
the House business which I chair did allocate, and that is why the business is here. But anyway, proceed, just proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You see, the reason I'm raising this issue is because they are saying that the reason they were not able to use the money, every time they have an excuse. They begin with that the board came around the end of May 2024. They made the requisition at the end of the year, and they are blaming the control of budget for not releasing the funds. That is the first thing they are doing, not the committee, but the fund. That is the first excuse they are giving. Then when you come to the next financial year, they tell you they did not have a banking partner. They did not have capacity to disperse these funds. So what it means is that for the year 2024-2025, this board should not have received a single cent. If you go further, Mr. Speaker, you will see that at this point in time, without doing anything, except one meeting for induction and one meeting for multi-agency, they have spent 6 million. This is more than the money that is being spent by Olkanau municipality, Engineer municipality, or Mairinya municipality, and there is something that is being done under recurrent expenditure. But for them,
They went to one meeting and used 6 million, Mr. Speaker. 6 million. Unless we are creating a board that is for eating, so that we should now call it the Nyandarua County Eating Fund Board. 6 million, Mr. Speaker. This is, and I would urge, Mr. Speaker, that you task this committee further. Give us a breakdown of this 6 million. Where did it go to? Because it's unacceptable. One sitting, one induction, 1 week, one sitting, 6 million is gone. Unless they were buying reams of paper at 100,000 per ream, Mr. Speaker. There is no other explanation. And so the best thing, Mr. Speaker, and then finally, who is this financial partner? When you are reporting to this house, there should be no ambiguity. Tell us who is this we have partnered with. Like now we know the county government has partnered with Equity. When there are problems with payroll, they go and take some few hearings there, they pay, then they will reimburse. Tell us who is this you are partnering with. Because the way things have been going around in this county, and the way Honorable Ngesha is saying, you don't know what is going to come next. You may think we have a very credible financial institution, and you may hear it is Mohede Sacco or something else that is being used to disburse this money, and we will start crying money has been eaten. So, Mr. Speaker, I would urge that you task this committee further to give us more information, especially a total breakdown of this 6 million. Where has it gone to?
Thank you, Honorable Koma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I'm happy because of the debate that is ongoing in this House. Because I think the members should be more unclear. The more they become unclear, the more the oversight come out very clearly. Honorable Speaker, I'm a member of the trade and I'm also the chairman budget. And in both aspects, I'm very disappointed about the trade fund. And I want to sympathize with the committee because I remember the last meeting we held the department ended up almost prematurely, simply because of the question that the lady is asking. I remember the chairman requesting to get a breakdown of this 6 million, which was not forthcoming. You were requesting more time. Let us go back and try to, as if they don't know how they use the money. Because it was a very hot meeting, actually, up here. But Honorable Speaker, I want to give this House a genesis. The genesis of this trade fund started in the second regime, and it started on a very wrong footing. Because immediately we passed the act, on the Trade Fund Act, there was a push and pull then by the regime that was there between the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Trade. Because there was a way that the Trade Act was done and subjected to this House through the Finance Committee and through the Finance Department. And later, for the Department of Trade to be told to implement. And there was a problem, there was a hitch, where the CCM Trade was not committed and said, this is not my document, I was not involved in preparing it, and there was a push and pull. And to that extent, in the second regime, we don't see the light of the day. And we expected now that when it comes to the third regime, this is going to be revived and it is going to act and it's going to work. But then again, when the time the third regime comes in, the time for the board that was already there had expired. I don't know whether it is expired or some of the members had resigned. Most of the members had resigned. And now the third regime had to come and appointed afresh a new board. Now the greatest discouragement and disappointment, we were very optimistic because we were brought names with very big CVs. We were excited everywhere. Now it is going to work. CVs were brought in this House. People who have even traveled overseas. Very big, huge document of curriculum vitae on these people and experience. And we knew it is going to work. But it was disappointment. This committee have only met once. And even after meeting once, they scored at 6 million. I agree with Honorable Moende. Very disappointing. Now, the other issue is that when they come in, there was another now discussion whether this board is the one that is going to give out the funds, to be responsible for the fund, or whether it is the department, again, where they were supposed to establish an office in the department, also to give the fund. They took a lot of time before now they go for the, that is for the procurement of this money. Again, they say this money is very little. There was change of focus, and now they wanted to go and look for the partner that Mohede is talking about, where they are going to put some money, and then the bank or the partner is going to multiply that money because they were expecting that there will be a flood of applications from Nyandarua people, Nyandarua traders. Then on those delay tactics, another year is gone. By the time they are trying to do the procurement to put the money in the special purpose account, the financial year closes. Then we go again without trade fund. This is the quagmire that we have found, or the fishy circle we have found ourselves in. But as budget team, and also as a committee, I know, personally, when we removed this money, because we have removed this money from the supplementary budget, I had an engagement with His Excellency the Governor because he called on this matter. And he has promised that they are coming up with another kind of concept and policy that will be subjecting for this House to look at it on how they can try now to implement this in the coming financial year. So maybe, Honorable Geshen, because you are talking of Badilisha and Change Manifesto, let's try and see the concept that will come before June and see how workable it is and poke holes or give more input into it. Because I also believe myself, this is a game changer for our young traders in this county if we're able to provide this money with the current economic status and the kind of tax that is happening. If we're able to provide our young traders, our youth, our people, our marginalized groups with this kind of fund, we'll bring change in this county. So let's wait. But I know, as I agree with Mohedi, there is a committee of which I belong to be put into more task to make sure that this works.
Thank you, Honorable Kumu. Honorable Kayini.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me begin by again appreciating another statement eloquently responded to by the A student from Starehe Girls, my very able, Alliance Girls, my apologies, my very able Vice Chair, Honorable Joyce. It could not have come out in a better way that Mohede could have understood.
Honorable Joyce, can you confirm you are from Alliance Girls? Oh, that's amazing. It's good for members' information.
Thank you. I couldn't have missed that, Honorable Speaker. Being an A student, I am always affiliated to the A students as well. And Honorable Joyce is one of them.
Honorable Kayini, are you alluding that you also got an A?
Oh, yes, definitely. What else? Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I am an A student.
Considering the Assembly have your entire CV.
Of course I did.
Yes.
Unless you're having a different one.
No, I don't have.
Point of clarification. A dispensation of lies, Honorable Speaker. Yes. Somebody might have snaked a wrong document to you. Ask for the correct one from me. I'll be able to provide for you. No wonder I am from the University of Nairobi, and I did it in the
Point of clarification.
Yes, what is the clarification of the Bongeshi?
You see, Chair, we need now to get clarification whether you understood the normal way of the education, or it was CAPE or whatever. See, we need to understand, we need to clarify, because when he mentioned something to do with the A, I thought he was on those years of whatever.
Yes, Honorable Kayini, you can maybe confirm whether 844 system or the former system.
Thank you. Any form of education is geared or meant to do one thing: produce students who are learned. Whether old or new, if you're an A student, does not apply or does not matter. But for the avoidance of doubt, we were the pioneers of the 844 system. And for the information of Honorable Geshe, you could not do an engineering course if you were C students. So that alone does confirm. And in the case from the University of Nairobi for that purpose, for that matter. And Honorable Kumu is also a student of the same system.
Yes. What is the information, Honorable Kumu?
Honorable Speaker, now that they were the pioneers of 844, they knew it came under very dubious circumstances during the war era. Could it that pioneering were given grades that were not equal to their qualification to try justify that the 844 was working?
Point of order.
The A-class of this engineer, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, what is it, Honorable? Yes.
Honorable Speaker, is Honorable Kongo in order tarnish such a good system that it was. Actually, that was the initiative of technology in Kenya.
As you proceed, Honorable DS, you subscribe to that system?
Yes, I am a pioneer of the 844
Okay.
and did the first examination in 1985. This was a brilliant idea, but given to poor implementers. Otherwise, this is the system to go. It was to sustain yourself. The clarion call was using locally available materials to develop yourself, making use of locally available material. Actually, this is what was to transform Kenya into an industrial nation. However, the implementers were political and had no idea of how noble this system was. However, because of the many problems we went through, this system produced brilliant people who are able to survive adverse environment. Actually, anyone who went through 844 system, the pioneers, can survive anywhere in the world. They are hardened. Thank you.
Honorable Kayeni, you can proceed now.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Honorable, my good friend here, the NG. Honorable Speaker, you know the good thing about this discourse is one, that everybody under this roof is a product of 844. I like the silence. It's a confirmation. But Honorable Speaker, I did listen to Honorable Kongo Chair Budget, making his statement. And I noted one thing. He spoke in plain English. And English. And I was listening. And one of the things he said is that maybe. That was English he was speaking. And being a maybe, then it doesn't deserve a response. Because that's a conjecture. That's insinuation. It's not founded on fact. He was just insinuating an imagination. And therefore, we don't need to belabor that point, that he was just making an inference as to whether it could have been or not. So because he's not sure, we will not respond to it until he becomes sure, so that we can bring that statement of surety and certainty for the purpose of discourse in this honorable house. Honorable Speaker, I was going to say two things. I was going to say, one, that we had a lot of expectations as a committee when the Nyandarua Trade and Investment Authority was inaugurated. Personally, I had a lot of hope that indeed the transformation that we've been looking for in terms of business and trade within the county, the moment had come. But that, just like Honorable Kungu did say, maybe, might have been a perhaps thing or a maybe thing, that we hoped that things would work. And that was just it, just a hope. And what it has turned out to be, it was simply as it was, just a hope. And the only question that I would ask the committee to really address is how the budget was expended. Out of 10 million, 6 was spent. We need to get a breakdown on that. Honorable Mwende, we don't need to be tasked. We have heard you. As part of our mandate as a committee, we'll be looking into that to get an answer as to the expenditure. But however, I do remember, Honorable Speaker, Honorable James Cairo, during the vetting process, he came up with gun bravery. And sometimes I get embarrassed when I remember that vetting process. We had to kind of cool him down and tell him, Honorable James Cairo, this person has traveled all over. He has gone to many places. He has many degrees. And he's actually the chair of government, national government institution. And I'm not trying to water down that CV. Neither am I trying to insinuate that he's not. We were trying to, as a committee, look into why the performance, as expected, has not been forthcoming. We'll be looking into that. We will be inviting, and we have actually done so, the committee, the board, the authority itself to appear before us and tell us what the challenges they are going through, and why 3 years, close to 3 years down the lane, they've not been able to do anything tangible to be able to bring transformation to our people. That is one thing. On the other hand, Honorable Speaker, we have noted with a lot of concern that the Department of Trade, Cooperatives, and Tourism, as it were, has become a department that has a lot of turnover for staff. Before the CEC, the ink that appointed the CEC has settled, the CEC is moved. The chief officer is moved. Then another chief officer. Then another director. Then another chief officer. And to a point where the department has been is left with a pair of its own former self. The CCM that was there initially had a bit of focus. A new CCM has come in, he's trying to get his bearings right, he's a good person. However, the consistency that is supposed to be evident within the committee, the department, is not there. The focus is missing. The directors are new, the chief officers are new. We had two chief officers, one went to agriculture, another one was brought, another one has been retired, another one is now there. The tourism department has been hived off and taken to water. It's a department that is in total chaos and mess. Just like Honorable Chair Budget did say, our last meeting almost ended up prematurely, where we had to ask the committee, the department, to go back and put the house in order before they appear before us, because we could tell there was total confusion in that department. As to whether it was deliberate or not, we want to investigate as a committee and be able to report back to this house that indeed that department has been left functionless. It's incapable of delivering any expectation, as it were. And I am just hoping that we will not be able to give that return that information back here. Honorable Gashoba is a member of my committee, and I'm glad that he did bring these two statements so that we can get an opportunity to discuss this matter on the floor of the House. However, I know he will be interested to delve deeper onto this matter and the matter of Kipe having come from his ward. And he was very passionate about it initially. I remember when the president came over to Jabini in the body of mother. Gashoba was there telling, Honorable Gashoba was telling the president, remember that matter. Remember the road, the tarmac road that was supposed to go to Mama Mukami's home. Remember the hospital, the Jabini hospital. And they all remained just that. Promises and empty as they were, hollow as they were, void if you don't like hollow. That is what we were left with. A smash or a neg on our face. I don't know how we're going to proceed with these kind of things. We need to stand up and exonerate ourselves as leaders, as a people that do not perpetuate lies. I remember, and I noted, and I know Honorable Kedo might have seen this as well, given that we are contesting the same seat with my brother, and we have a lot of respect for it. We know the seat cannot be sat by two people. So one of us, and I am gladly to report this house, one of us will become the member of parliament for Kinangop. And as we do that, I did see in the social media that the border riders in Kinangop have been insulted and abused. We will not sit down here and expect national leaders who are supposed to be protecting the interests of our people insult our border leaders. We reject and we refuse. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I think it's fully exhausted. Clerk, we proceed to the next order.
Order number 8, motions and bills. There is a motion by Honorable Isaac Kamaubai, Chairperson Committee on Water, Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources.
Very well. Honorable Isaac Kamaubai, Chairperson Committee on Water, Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is the motion of the report on the matter to do with the Nyandarua County Annual Climate Change Report for year ended June 30th, 2024. Honorable Speaker, allow me first to acknowledge read the acknowledgement, Mr. Honorable Speaker, the Nyandarua County Annual Climate Change Report for the period ending 30th June 2024 comprises of activities undertaken by the Climate Change Unit and the charges encountered. Honorable Speaker, may I take this opportunity on behalf of the committee to express my sincere gratitude to your office and the office of the clerk for immediate support they granted us to ensure successful accomplishment of the committee mandate. Honorable Speaker, I wish to acknowledge the immense support for the members of the committee and that of the Secretariat for their commitment during the engagement with the executive and the report right exercise. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the members of the committee, it is my pleasurable obligation and desire to present the committee report on Nyandarua County Annual Climate Change Report for the period ended June 30th, June 2024 before the House for consideration and approval. Honorable Speaker, it is good to note that the committee comprises the following members, that is I, Isaac Bai Kamau, as the chairperson, Honorable Caroline Jarara as the vice chair, Honorable Ibrahim Maina Mwangi, member, Honorable James Mwangi Geshoki, member, Honorable Lucy Gedeji Kageni Gedeji, member, Honorable Mirika Wajiro Dirango, member, Honorable Paul Gesho Wabaire, member, Honorable Paul Keruka, member, Honorable Samuel Magwainaina, member. And our secretariat, led by Ms. Nancy Mude, that is our senior clerk assistant, and also our legal counsel, that is John Kahinga. Honorable Speaker, the Climate Change Act 2016 establishes a regulatory framework for an enhanced response to climate change, including mechanism and measures to improve resilience and promote low carbon economic development. This act adopts a mainstreaming approach, providing the legal basis for climate change activities through the National Climate Change Action Plan, and includes the establishment of the National Climate Change Council and the Climate Change Fund to ensure coordinated climate change action, and act require county government to domesticate and enact County Climate Change Act, as well as create County Climate Change Fund, Climate Change Unit (CCUs) to address climate action and improve community resilience and adaptive capacity at the local level. In compliance with the National Climate Change Act 2016, Nyandarua County enacted the Nyandarua County Climate Change Act 2021. This legislation established key structures, including Climate Change Directorate, a Climate Change Unit, a steering committee, a planning committee, and a ward committee. Furthermore, it enabled the formulation of the County Climate Action Plan, which outlined integrated adaptation and mitigation strategies to address the negative impact of the climate change. According to Section 44 of the Nyandarua Climate Change Act 2021, the steering committee is mandated to submit an annual report with 3 months of the year end to the County Assembly. This report detailed the implementation of the County Climate Change Action Plan, other climate change response action, and the associated impact for review, discussion, and debate. This is the committee findings and our obligation. Honorable Speaker, the committee reviewed the climate change annual report for the 2023-2024 financial year, ending June 2024, and mandate the following observation. According to Section 44 of the Nyandarua Climate Change Act 2021, the steering committee is required to submit an annual report to the county within 3 months after the close of the financial year. Additionally, Section 11.1 mandates that the committee to develop a reporting framework for the preparation and dissemination of the annual report on the climate change response activities. However, despite the Act being in effect since 2021, this reporting framework has not yet been established. Furthermore, the committee noted that the 11 strategic objectives for the climate adaptation and mitigation were successfully achieved through interdepartmental collaboration. Upon reviewing these strategic objectives, the following key observations were made. Number one, capacity development and knowledge management. The committee charge unit has undertaken training for various groups as shown in this table below, and it is in our gadgets. In the finding, the expenditure report as of June 30th, 2024 detailed training session for various groups, including 10 county officers, 13 steering committee members, 16 planning committee members, 16 county assembly members, and 250 climate change committee members. However, in strategic objective, it was stated that only 33 environment staff were trained without a mention of the other indicated in the expenditure report, thus creating a contradiction in the report in reported figures. This inconsistency compounded by the lack of supporting documentation such as meeting venues, attendance register, and pictorial evidence made it impossible for the committee to verify the authenticity of the claimed training activities. Number two, food and nutritional security. As part of the strategic objective on the food security, the climate change unit conducted capacity building activities for extension officers, veterinary officers, and farmers. Additionally, the unit distributed avocado seedling to promote agroforestry through fruit tree cultivations. Findings: the capacity building training conducted under this objective cannot be substantiated due to the lack of supporting evidence such as attendance register and documentation on the procurement and the distribution criteria of avocado seedlings. Number three, the disaster risk management. The priority action in risk management focused on surveillance and response to the flash floods. For the period under review, the only record achievement was a single surveillance report for the Makiru Dam in Ruiru Ward. Findings: the establishment takes the RAC annual breakdowns, making effective monitoring and evaluation challenging. Furthermore, the climate change unit CCU failed to adequately address identified risks, particularly those posed by Makiru dams, as highlighted in the surveillance report. Note by that the climate change unit did not outline any risk mitigation strategies. Additionally, there is no record of daily rainfall forecast report being generated or disseminated to the farmer across all wards, which would have provided essential seasonal warning. As a result, the identified risks were not mitigated as expected, and the desired outcome were not achieved. Number four, forestry, wildlife, biodiversity conservation. The strategic objective was successfully pursued through the comprehensive tree planting program. This initiative focused on expanding tree nursery capacity, distributing 1 million potting bags to nursery groups, and promoting the planting of indigenous trees. As a result, 227,000 indigenous trees and exotic trees were reportedly planted. Findings: the climate change unit supported 3 nurseries in producing 500 seedlings
had issued 1 million potting bags. However, only 227 trees were reported as planted. No evidence was provided to substitute the issue of potting bags. The criteria used to identify recipient group, proof of distributions, or documentation of the tree planting exercise. Additionally, there was no information on the fate of the remaining 223,000 seedlings. Number 5, enhancement water security. The priority action under this strategic objective was to increase the number of dams where water plants and storage tanks, protection, restoration of wetland zones, tree planting along riparian lands, raising awareness on water efficiency, and the mapping of farmers in riparian areas. The achievement under this objective were: 1. To where intakes were desilted and expanded, that is 6,377.5. Number 2, cubic meter storage infrastructure constructed and 18 boreholes drilled and cased. Number 3, 30,000 bamboo tree seedlings supplied to farmers to protect that kilometer of riparian areas. Number 4, 446,000 indigenous trees planted along 6 rivers. Number 5, training of farmers along agroforestry, agriculture, soil, water conservation and harvesting. Number 6, mapping riparian farmers in Simba, Alaimutia, Kahuaga, Nyahururu, Equator, and Nyakarianga. Findings: the report achievement aligned with the work plan. However, several inconsistencies were identified. For instance, the weir intake project in Jabini, Guatanero is still ongoing and involves only 1 intake, not 2 as identified as initially stated. Additionally, the distribution of bamboo tree seedlings to farmers for riparian protection could not be verified. The report also claimed that 446,000 indigenous trees were planted along 6 unnamed rivers, which contradict the area figure of 227,000 indigenous and exotic trees planted in financial year 2023-2024. When riparian farmers were mapped, the total number of farmers was not disclosed, nor were any measures outlined to protect them from flood or other calamities. Number 6, improved drainage and sewerage system. Sewer and sewerage system, yes. The main objective was to construct 10 kilometers of drainage system powered along with the conservational water treatment plant with a capacity of 2,000 meter cubic per day and sewerage plant with capacity of 3,300 meter per day. Findings: the progress has been made in improving sanitation. However, the construction of the 10-kilometer drainage system powered has not been achieved. Number 7, green and sustainable energy. The primary objective of this initiative was to provide an alternative source of energy and enhance livelihood by promoting the adoption of biomass cook stoves. A total of 11,600 GECOs were distributed in partnership with Akiri Holding, benefiting 4,000 women in Greater Ward, while the remaining unit were supplied across Daragwa sub-county. The initiative aimed to reduce household biogas consumption and lower greenhouse gas emission by transitioning to green and renewable energy source. Findings: within partnership with Akil Holdings, in providing biomass cooking stoves is appreciated. The report lacked clarity on the criteria used to select Nyandarua sub-county as the sole beneficiary of this strategic objective. Additionally, there is no information on the specific ward that benefited from the 7,600 GCOs distributed within the Nyandarua sub-county, nor any evidence to verify the recipient of the cook's stoves. Number 8, sustainable manufacturing and cottage industries. This objective prioritizes promoting energy and resource efficiency in the manufacturing sector. The focus areas including improving water uses and resources efficiency, strengthening local value chain and cottage industries, optimizing manufacturing and production process, and promoting sustainable charcoal system. The achievement for the period under review was continuous capacity enhancement for the two water companies of Wasco and Nyandarua. Number 2, mapping of the cottage industries. Number 3, drafting of NRM policy. 2, supporting ongoing. Findings. During the reporting period, the Climate Change Unit conducted a mapping exercise of the cottage industry across the county to promote local value chain in each sub-county. However, the report did not provide detailed modalities for supporting these industries or disclose the number of industries identified. This information is essential for the House to assess and consider appropriate support measure. Number 9, climate resilience infrastructure. Promoting climate resilience infrastructure to minimize injuries, loss of lives, and property damages was identified as a key priority. To support this effort, strategic environment assessment for infrastructure program and environmental audit were conducted. Additionally, the unit successfully completed 13 environmental impact assessment (EIA) reports and interdepartmental discussions on this are ongoing. Findings: the environmental assessment and audit conducted, along with any related concern, were not presented to the committee. The committee aspects were that the objective should extend beyond the mere generation of report to delivering tangible, measurable outcomes such as strengthening climate resilience and safeguarding lives and property, which have not been demonstrably achieved. Furthermore, interdepartmental dialogue, where important, is unlikely to drive meaningful impact if the findings of this assessment remain undisclosed. For effective climate action, this report must be shared with the public, who are the primary stakeholder and directly vulnerable to climate change risk. Number 10, it's carbon emission trading. The strategic objective aimed to reduce greenhouse gas emission and promote climate-smart agriculture to enhance food security. This will be accomplished through the development of a comprehensive greenhouse gas emission inventory and the establishment of carbon credit trading platform. Findings: the county has failed to achieve this strategic objective due to the absence of carbon credit regulations. As a result, the establishment of the carbon credit trading platform, which is a critical mechanism for incentivizing emission reduction and promoting climate-smart agriculture, remain unachieved. Number 11, environment and social performance. Mr. Speaker, these initiatives seek to minimize the environmental degradation, damage, and the loss of environmental and social resources. It is guided by the County Environmental Action Plan and the County State of the Environmental Report, both of which are still in the monitoring and managing environmental degradation, pollution, and control across the sector is the number of reported and resolved incidents. To date, 4 incidents have been reported and resolution are still in progress. Findings: environmental disaggregation, damage, and the loss of environmental and social resources affect all sectors. Therefore, the reported incident should have been detailed in the report to allow the House to deliberate on them effectively. Other findings, Honourable Speaker, the Climate Change Unit relies on the policy and regulatory framework as it is key enabler. However, almost all essential policies have not yet have yet to be presented to the House for approval. This includes Nyandarua County National Resources Management Policy, Forestry Management Policy, Environmental Policy, that is Environment Policy, and Environmental Bill. Notably, within the strategic objective, several regulatory frameworks have also not been submitted for approval by this House, including County Environmental Work Plan, Carbon Trading Regulations, and National Resources Management Policy. Note that the County Climate Change Funds, through the FOCA program, the county received funding under 2 key grant streams: the County Climate Institution Support Grant, that is CCIS, and the County Climate Resilience Investment Grant, that is CCRIG. The CCIS program was allocated 11,845,070, which supported various activities including the review and amendment of the Nyandarua County Climate Change Act 2021 and development of the County Climate Fund regulation to establish a strong legal framework for climate action. Meanwhile, the CCRIG Fund, the implementation of high-impact climate adaptation project aimed at enhancing water security, promoting sustainable agriculture, restoring ecosystem, and advancing clean energy adoption. In the financial year 2023-2024, the county was allocated 104,537,981 through FOCA, supplemented by additional county allocations of that 2 million. However, the disbursement occurred late in the financial year, leading to delay in project implementation. Findings: the CCIS grant amounting to 11,848,070 was allocated to various climate change activities, including training expenses totaling to 2,099,600, which were disbursed through IMPREST. However, the recipient of this fund were not disclosed, making it impossible for the committee to verify the prudent utilization of fund allocation for FOCA activities in financial year 2023-2024. Additionally, the County Climate Resilience Investment Grant (CCRIG) faced the disbursement, which delayed the implementation of planned project for the review period. Despite these challenges, the overall climate change impact report for the county suggests that all objectives were achieved as planned. However, the presentation of the 11 strategic objectives lack clarity, contradicting the findings in the Climate Change Fund report. Furthermore, the Committee on Water, Climate Change and Natural Resources, through resolution of the House, directed the CCM in charge of the climate change to submit the climate change fund regulation within 90 days. Non-compliance with this directive would result in the suspension of the fund operations until regulations were approved by this Honorable House. However, this directive was not adhered to. Conclusion: the strategic objectives serve as a framework to guiding climate action over a 5-year period. To ensure effective implementation, these objectives should be broken down into 2 annual targets that are measurable against actual achievement. This structured approach would enable the climate change unit to identify challenges encountered in the first year, address them in the subsequent year, and review the action plan to better tackle climate change-related issues affecting the county. Furthermore, the specific activities that were carried over the financial year 2024-2025 due to delayed disbursement have not been disclosed. This lack of transparency raising concern about whether these activities will be incorporated into the implementation process or risk being overlooked. Our recommendation, Honorable Speaker, is having considered the Nyandarua County Climate Change Annual Report for the year ended 2024, the committee recommends that 1. The House hereby reject Nyandarua County Climate Change Annual Report for the period ending June 30th, 2024, citing significant deficiencies including insufficient information, lack of transparency, and failure to provide verifiable data to support the reported achievement. Number 2, that the steering committee does formulate the climate change reporting framework within 60 days. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, sir. Yes, thank you, Honorable Mbai. What is it, Honorable Matthew?
Mr. Speaker, sir, maybe before Honorable Mbai, who is my great friend, calls in for a seconder, I've just seen the weight in this matter. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I would humbly request, pursuant to the provision of the Standing Order number 33 and the convenience of the House, I move the the following motion, that this House do now adjourn to tomorrow, 23rd of April 2025 at 9 a.m. to continue deliberating on this weighty matter that pertains to our county. And also, Mr. Speaker, because of what, especially the conclusion of this matter, I would humbly request, Mr. Speaker, that you do allow us to deliberate on this issue tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And on this, I call Honorable Moende to second.
I second. Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 33 and for the convenience of the House, that this House do now adjourn to tomorrow, the 23rd day of April 2025 at 9:30 a.m. Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that this House, that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 33 and for the convenience of the House, that this House does now adjourn to tomorrow, the 23rd day of April 2025 at 9:30 a.m. May those of a similar opinion say aye. May those of a contrary opinion say nay. And the ayes have it. Honorable members, the House now adjourn to tomorrow, the 23rd day of April 2025 at 9:30 a.m. The rest of the matters, the House business shall give directions.